Texas. There are growing questions tonight about the motives behind certain Harvey fundraising efforts going on. Controversial activist Linda Sarsour under fire for this tweet, which actually links to a left-leaning political action committee. One Twitter user writing, "Wow, framing donations to an inherently political organization under the guise of disaster relief is pretty awful." And then there's this from a Texas abortion advocacy group. "Join us in supporting Harvey survivors seeking an abortion but cannot afford it." Here now with more, Molly Hemingway, senior editor at The Federalist and a Fox News contributor, and Emily Tish Sussman, campaign director for the Center for American Progress Action Fund. Molly, some of those tweets, you have to let them sink in. I mean, let's go back to the Sarsour tweet. To her 231,000 followers, donate to the hashtag Harvey Hurricane Relief. You click on the link and it actually goes to this Texas Organizing Project Education Fund. It's an activist organization and PAC whose chief focus is advancing political goals through elections, Molly.
Yeah, this is a group that has a history of doing traditional political organizing. In the last cycle, they gave all of their funds to electing Hillary Clinton. And that is the problem with this isn't that community organizing or political action isn't important, but it's not important while the storm is still going on and while people's lives are at risk. And it's very important for people to give contributions to groups that actually know what they're doing. My family gives to the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod's Disaster Relief and Recovery, which has decades of experience doing this type of work, not political organizing. And people really should get good directions, and this is not a good time for political
Emily,
organizing.
to be exact, the organization spent last year, 2016, nearly $16,000 in support of Hillary Clinton and nearly $5,000 against Trump. Isn't this a bit of a bait and switch?
Well, just to be very clear, what she actually linked to is the Education Fund. And the Texas Organizing Project is a grassroots organization that helps low-income people advocate for themselves. We know that those who are already living at the margins are already the hardest hit and are going to have the hardest time in the recovery. So I do think it makes sense to be thinking about people that should be advocating for themselves.
You don't think when people click on that they think that that's for humanitarian aid and relief and as a direct result of people being left homeless in many instances?
Look, they can see exactly who they're donating to. If they don't want to, they shouldn't donate. I would actually note that is one of the organizations that Linda Sarsour in particular advocated for, including the Red Cross, the Texas
Just
Diaper
to be
Bank,
clear, she doesn't put the actual
ASPCA.
name of the education fund on there. It only links to that. So you don't see that when you actually see the tweet. But Emily, then let's go to this other tweet for the Lilith Fund. This is I mean, it's unbelievable. Join us supporting Harvey survivors seeking an abortion but cannot afford it.
Look, I think part of what we're hearing out of Texas is that when people are going in to help and save one another, they're not talking politics, they're not talking legal status, they're not talking any of that. They're just there to help one another, and no one is making any judgments on one another. We really don't know why somebody may be seeking an abortion either at this time or
Molly,
afterwards.
let me give you an example.
And it's not the time to have that discussion.
Molly, let me give you an example of some of the negative Twitter reaction to that particular tweet. You've got this. "This is a great investment if you think the biggest problem with Harvey is that it didn't kill enough people." There's another one. "Using a tragedy like this to fill your coffers. Despicable you." Molly?
Well, exactly. Funding abortions only makes sense if you think the main problem with Hurricane Harvey was that it didn't kill enough people. Right now, I think most Americans understand that what we really need to be doing is saving lives, not violently ending them in the womb. And what women need is clean water, shelter. They need tools for rescue efforts, and they do not need people not supporting them as they face their pregnancies and their families are having growing concerns. But I think thankfully most Americans understand that saving life and not ending it is most important at this time.
All right, we've got breaking news this hour. Thanks to both of you for coming on. Still ahead, a bombshell report revealing that the threat of Antifa violence was on the Obama administration's radar in early 2016. So why was nothing done? That shocking report ahead. Plus, President Trump is expected to announce his decision on the Obama-era DACA program within days. Will he keep his base satisfied? David Wohl and Francisco Hernandez debate that next.